You can only qualify for an open work permit in Canada if you are an international student who has graduated from a Canadian designated learning institution and is eligible for a post-graduation work permit.
Most foreign nationals require a work permit or study permit to work in Canada. You're eligible to work in Canada if you are a Canadian citizen or permanent resident, or have a valid work permit, or are an international student with a valid study permit that allows you to work in Canada.
You can only qualify for an open work permit in Canada if you are an international student in Canada but can no longer meet the cost of your study program. You can only qualify for an open work permit in Canada if you have a temporary residence permit in Canada. You can only qualify for an open work permit in Canada if you are the spouse or partner of an international student or temporary foreign worker in Canada. You can only qualify for an open work permit in Canada if you have applied for permanent residence in Canada or are a dependent of a PR applicant. The application processing fee for an employer-specific work permit in Canada is $155. For an open work permit, you'll need to pay a total of $255, including a $100 open work permit holder fee. Regardless of the type of work permit you apply for, you'll need to pay a biometrics fee of $85.
A visa interview is a face-to-face meeting between an individual and an immigration officer to determine individuals' eligibility for a visa. It provides immigration officer an opportunity to ask for questions, additional information about the individual's background and qualifications. Finding a job in Canada is a significant milestone in your newcomer journey. Unless you're a Canadian permanent resident PR or citizen, you need a study or work permit to work in Canada, and in most cases, you need a formal job offer to apply for a work permit.
A job letter is a document provided by an employer that confirms the offer of employment to an individual. The job letter usually includes details about the position, the salary, and the start date of the employment.
You need a valid job offer from an employer in Canada to apply for an employer-specific work permit. However, if you're eligible for an open work permit, you don't need an employment offer.
In most cases, you don't need to take the IELTS or other language tests to qualify for a Canadian work permit. However, proof of language proficiency may be required for certain specialized work permits, such as for live-in caregivers.
A principal applicant is the individual who is the main focus of an immigration application. In most cases, the principal applicant is the individual who will receive the immigration visa. A sponsored person is an individual who is sponsored for immigration by a sponsoring person. The sponsoring person must provide evidence of their ability to support the sponsored person and must be responsible for the sponsored person's well-being. A sponsoring person is an individual who sponsors another person for immigration. The sponsoring person must provide evidence of their ability to support the sponsored person and must be responsible for the sponsored person's well-being.
A designated agent is an individual or organization that has been authorized by an immigration authority to assist individuals with immigration procedures.